Good morning, Unity of Medina. So we are one in spirit, and I'm so grateful for that, for us to come together and be one in spirit. I just went to a workshop yesterday. David Byerly's church had a workshop about the new human, sacred space. And of course, it's all about energy. It's all about us being one. It's all about love. It's all about feminine energy. So those who are here that don't appear as feminine energy, we know that we're both feminine and masculine, and you got it in you to join the immersions of our sacred being that is actually happening. You know, I was taught that things have to break down to break through. So when we're in the confusion of what's happening in our world, the breakdown is actually our breakthrough. So stay grounded and also stay in your heart. So today we're going to be talking about Discover the Light, and it went right with this workshop. So I am going to use some of it, and I'm going to use, I had already had my talk written. So just to understand again, there is no separation. We are all one as we go within to discover that light that we carry and that love that we are blessed. And when we read the daily word, you'll see that that matches it. So you can see how we're everything, and we're not coordinating it. We're just working together in consciousness. So at the end of the workshop, I left at 1 o'clock because we had a family birthday that day. But one of my friends there sent me their closing statement. So I'd like to read it to you. They were the final words of the seminar. Everything is consciousness. Everything is energy. Everything is frequency. Everything is vibration. When you understand yourself as frequency and vibration, consciousness and energy, first over form, you are on your way home. So let's close our eyes a moment and just think of ourselves as vibrating this light and this love. This is the energy that is coming into each one of us as we expand. And we're actually expanding, and I'll talk about it later. We're expanding from the third to the fifth dimension. And of course, that is light. And that is love. And so our job is to grow in consciousness, to be able to say yes to these changes. And so it is. We say amen and amen. And now Angie will lead us in our group.
Chant?
Group, is it a song?
Sing along. Sing along.
Sing along.
Making me nervous over here, Donna.
That's what I'm here for.
Okay. Love is why I'm here. Let me be an open channel. If love is why I'm here, let me give and then receive. If love is why I'm here, let me be an open channel. Love is why I'm here. Let me give and then Let us be an open channel. If love is why we're here, let us give and then receive. If love is why you're here, may you be an open channel. If love is why you're here, may you give and then receive. Give and receive. Give and receive. If love is why I'm here, let me be an open channel. If love is why I'm here, let me give and then receive. If love is why I'm here, let me be an open channel. If love is why I'm here, let me give and then receive. Love is why I'm here, let me give and then receive. Love is why I'm here, let me give and then receive. Let me give and then receive.
Thanks, Angie. Good morning. Welcome again to Unity of Medina. Here at Unity, we affirm our core values of integrity, joy, acceptance, love, and spiritual growth. September is the power of order. Donna will light the olive green candle. As she lights the candle, let us affirm together our affirmation for the month for the power of order. My life is balanced in order, and all is well. Today's daily word is grace. Through divine grace, I am abundantly blessed in every way. Grace is an awareness that wherever I am, God is. It is my reminder to let God be good in me, or God be God in me. Grace assures me that I am never alone on my journey through life. That no matter what I do or fail to do, I am unconditionally loved and accepted at the level of spirit. Grace touches every area of my life. In a lonely moment, grace is the overwhelming awareness that I am loved. It is the surprising way through a challenge I consider unsolvable. It is my whole body suddenly glowing with the power of divine life, even as I experience a health challenge. These are just some of the many ways I experience grace. Grace need not be, nor can it be earned. It is a divine gift, available at every moment. As I open my heart to divine grace, I am filled with indescribable peace. Today's passage is taken from Hebrews 13:25. Grace be with all of you. And we'll go to meditation.
Sushanar Hari Hari Ha Hari Ha Hari Ha Hari Prana Pana Sushanar Hari Hari Ha Hari Ha Hari Ha Hari Prana Pana Sushanar Hari Hari Ha Hari Ha Hari Hari Prana Pana Sushanar Hari Hari Ha Hari Ha Hari Hari Prana Pana Sushanar Hari Hari Ha Hari Ha Hari Hari Prana Pana Sushanar Hari Hari Ha Hari Ha Hari Hari
And so we allow this energy to just begin to flow through the very top of our head. We open our minds to receive new ideas and new thoughts. We accept the changes that are happening. As we see with new eyes and hear with new ears the way of spirit. And so as we settle in and allow this energy to flow to our power center, which is our words, the words we speak to each other, our highest thoughts, our greatest insights, and we share so that we can all grow in this change as we allow this energy to flow to our heart center, our place of wisdom, the place that allows us to always be in right place at right time with all that we need. We see our brothers and sisters as one with us. We know that change and separation and anything that would keep us apart is not true. There is no fear in us. The faith that we are one with God, one with each other, one with our life here. All is good. All is energy. All is vibration. As unity teaches, life is consciousness. So to raise our consciousness to the radiant light that we are, to know that we are loved, to know that we love, to know that light is the being that we are. We are so grateful to be here now in this time as we usher in this new thought of being. And so we go into the silence. And our questions of what will you have me do? And where will you have me go? And what will you have me say? Become real as we listen in the silence. And so as the daily word gave us the idea of the gift of grace, we don't have to earn it. We have to be it for our brothers and sisters. For we are all grace, and we are the gift of grace. And as we take time to listen, our consciousness expands. And we know what is the next thing, the next idea, the next thought, the next person that is in my path where I can share. Because we are all love. And love needs and wants to be shared. And so we say yes. Yes to this new human that is being birthed in all of us. Thank you, Angie. I always love that after meditation to have that beautiful music to sit with. So I'm using Eric Butterworth's book again, Discover the Power Within. You know, he had a big ministry in New York. Of course, he's since passed, but he would hold Sunday services at Carnegie Hall. So, you know, unity it's big, it's powerful, it's great, and we have to keep that in our consciousness because we have to know that we have something to say and that there's a lot of people who would benefit from what we say. And so I think his title was The Great Discovery. Well, I'm saying Discover the Light because it just seems to be the theme of what I've been studying lately. And so we start with some of his words. 100 generations ago, the son of a simple carpenter. You know, we're always trying to have really big, wonderful, you know, commercial ideas. And 100 generations ago, the son of a carpenter, Jesus, increased his wisdom and in years in divine human favor with God and men. It was a breakthrough in man to the world of the spirit within. And that's what unity was all about too. It was about the spirit within. That this God that we're chasing with altars and gold statues and all the stuff that we put around to chase this is really within. He was an example of the art of the possible. And that's what I love. When I look out, I see the art of the possible. What is possible for us? And it doesn't mean that we don't have mountains to climb. As I know some people's stories in this church, I know they're climbing mountains right here, right now as we speak. But what the miracle is, or what the possibility is, his miracle working message was stand up, speak out, love, heal, so that we can look at something, both good or bad in our life, and know that it's an expression of the power of life. You know, that's one of our 12 powers, the power of life. And we can use our intuition and our insight and our revelation to know that we can be as little children and we can laugh and play, we can cry. Have you ever seen a little child frustrated? Kicking their feet, pounding their hands. We can do that too. Be as little children. Because sometimes things in life bug us. And we're frustrated. And then we go to the great discovery, the theme of Jesus' teachings, the divinity of man. And I think since unity, over 100 years, is we're trying to really understand that. And what I got from the workshop yesterday, okay, the time is now. Everything's falling down just as it should be. And we're going to stand up and we're going to be this human that we've been talking about, which is the light and love, powered by the God figure that is the thoughts of the universe. So to understand that God was a teacher, that's why I remained a licensed teacher. I figure if I'm following Jesus, Jesus as the figure of God. So to teach each other. He taught us of the great potential of the Adam man. You know, in the Bible, we were left with the Adam man who, you know, followed the woman, so the woman gets a bad name. You know, she made him eat the apple, and, you know, he was a mess, and then they both had to leave the garden. So, for years and years and years and generations, the woman was the temptress with the apple. Adam was the, let me see, how can I put this gently? I'll use the word silly. All right, the dumb man. That followed the woman. And I mean, we've lived that story forever, and it's like over, it's like over. So Jesus came and he gave us the great potential of the Adam man. It's not of Adam, the person, but the Adam man, which is our human self. So in John 14, he that believeth on me, the works that I do shall he do also, and the greater works than these shall he do, because I go on to my Father. So what Jesus is saying is he's leaving us, but he's leaving us equipped. We are equipped to do this work. And we make a great discovery that man's spiritual unity with God as a beloved child leaves him or her with intelligence, life, and substance. Now, here's the kicker. The intelligence, life, and substance are in the heart. The new human is not to use their intellect to figure out the things of the heart. Now, you can use your intellect for math, and you can use your intellect for, if someone's going to do surgery on me, I'm hoping that they use their intellect. But I hope they use their intuition too. What's happening is we're learning a new way of thinking, of dropping that thought to our heart. And they talked about this yesterday in the workshop, but I have to say, I just said to a neighbor who is very smart, and I just love her. And she uses her intellect and figures everything out. Everybody goes to her because she figures everything out. And then she got annoyed with me because, I'm going, huh? And I said, I don't think here. I think here. And she says, I know. That doesn't mean I don't have to function in this world. It's funny. It's hard to balance this stuff because you hear it just one way, like, oh, not to use your intellect. But, like I used to tell the YOUers, we had a gal who was just brilliant in our group. And she wanted to do something in science, of course. And I said to her, don't lay on the couch and do nothing because you're spiritual. Become the scientist that you want to be and use it for the highest good of God. So that when you hear, you have to hear with new ears. I tease about the 60s. I missed it because actually I was having kids in the late 60s. But the laying on the couch and saying, hey, man, it's not what we're talking about. We did that. Well, some of us did that. I was getting up at 6 a.m. with babies. But the idea that this is just an effortless thing is not true. The effort has to come from the mind to the heart. And then you ask, where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say, and to whom? I can remember one time, I've been doing this a long time, and we had this car, and John got a job, and he got a company car. So I said, well, John, and this car had a lot of miles on it. So I said, well, John, I said, we can't sell this car. I said, we have to give it away. And, of course, he's not sorry he married me. But he just wants to know where these ideas come from. And so he said, well, who are we going to give it to? And I said, well, I don't know. Let me think about it. Let me ask, actually. Let me ask. And the woman's name came up. Her name was Mary. I won't give her last name. And she was best friends with my mother. And she was a woman who had, I don't know, six kids or more. And she ended up having a really hard life and had to go through a lot. And so I called her and I said, Mary, this is Donna, Arlene's daughter, because that's how, I didn't know if she knew who I was. And I said, I just want to share with you that I was talking to God, because she was a woman of faith, so I could say that. So I was talking to God, and he told me, we have a car to give away, and he told me to give it to you. And she starts crying. And I said, what's going on? And she said, I just threw God out this morning. I said, well, you better invite him back in, or her, or it, because he gave me your name. But that's a true story. So her son told her, don't believe her, Mom. People don't do this. So he thought we were going to pull in with an old jalopy. And John, listen, everything he has is pristine. So he cleans the car up, the outside's wax. He fills it with gas. And we bring it over. And so the kid's there. Now, I didn't know he thought that. We learned that later. But look at the work you're doing by just listening. It cost us nothing. And of course, he had a dance that night. And he was so excited that he could bring his girl to the dance in this car. You know, it's funny because it's like, actually, Course in Miracles talks about it, it's least effort to live this way. And we're called, and we're being called, and we all know it. We all know it because we can see the changes. And thank God, Gene Oosten taught, everything's got to break down for us to break through. So they're the miracles of the teaching. And Paul said, he who is Lord of heaven and earth does not live in shrines and made by human hands, nor is he served by human hands, as though he deeded anything, since he himself gives all mortals life and breath and all things, though indeed he is not far from each one of us. I am in him. We live, we move, and we have our being, for we too are his offspring. So what this is telling us, or what Paul is telling us, is he who is Lord of heaven and earth does not live in the shrines made by human hands. I mean, so, you know, all these beautiful places. My daughter was just in Italy. Beautiful. Not that we're not to enjoy them. Beautiful. But that's not where life is, the power of life. The life is within us. And for in him, that's my favorite part, I love that. For in him we live, we move, we have our being. Oh, isn't that powerful? For we too are his offsprings, Acts 17. So to understand that we can be very simple does not mean that we don't want things. You know, I loved Unity because it taught prosperity, that it was okay to have the big fancy car. It was okay to have a big house and nice clothes. One of our ministers taught me how to wear a silk blouse. I'm going, I don't even know what silk is and how it feels. That was her helping me grow, because I didn't think I was worthy of that. I never bought a silk blouse. So Charles Fillmore says about Jesus, Christ is the mind of God individualized. That just means personalized. The mind of God personalized. So when we're saying you're Christ within, It is the mind of God in you, individualized. Going on, as Charles Fillmore said, he had dropped that personal consciousness by which we separate ourselves from our own true God selves. So we have to drop that. And people are so uncomfortable with that. But you have to drop it. He became conscious, one with the absolute principle of being. So this is all the things Jesus did that Charles Fillmore is pointing out. He proved in his resurrection and ascension that he had no conscious separate from the one being. He was the being to all intent and purpose. Yet he attained no more than what is expected of every one of us. This is Charles Fillmore. So that Jesus did all these things. He dropped the personal consciousness and became the true God self. He knew he was absolute principle. There was no separation, which was the message of the resurrection and ascension. And yet, he's saying he attained, this is Charles, he attained no more than what is expected of every one of us. And so, it's time. It's time to start really moving in this direction. And that's where the follow me comes from. Follow me, accept a high level of radiant consciousness. Start asking. Not here, here. Start asking. And by the way, they could be silly questions of your profession or what you're doing or, like who do I give this car to? Look at the series of things that happened because of that, including the kid. Now, I don't know if he changed his mind that people don't do this, but I do know that from a kid's perspective, he had a car to take his girl to the dance with. The way shower of our own self-realization and self-unfoldment. The way shower, the first time I came to Unity, I learned that word, way shower. What's the way shower? And of course, it was Jesus, the Christ, and how he lived his life. Man can view the vast and beautiful panorama of the spiritual dimension of life through the Christ. So when you hear those Bible passages, come on to me, do not look at me. These are Jesus' words. I love these words, the Christ. Do not look at me, but look to the Spirit as I am looking to the Spirit. Do not look at me. Look at the Spirit as I am looking to the Spirit. Interesting. When some healings take place, that is really what happens. You just, healers, they just look to Spirit. I mean, they're not doing anything. They're just looking to Spirit. So we got some tips for how to get here, how to be willing to start to move from this third dimension to fifth dimension, light being. And it's interesting because they're the things that we use in Unity, so that's why I'm going to share them with you. So it was an affirmation for me that, I'm in the right place, doing the right thing. So here's the 8 steps that this, let me see, I'll look for it. I have her flyer here. But meditation, time in nature, stillness, creativity, diet, movement, sound, and crystals. Now, when I look at Unity, and when I look at Unity of Medina, I'm saying we do some of these. The diet part's a little wonky up here, but I know there's people who do it well. But the meditation, that's what we teach in Unity. stillness, time in nature. I always talk about my little grandkids that are the finest people ever and never been to church. I mean, they've been to church if I have something, but and they are so Christ-like. And that's one of the ways to become Christ-like, because their Father has them in nature, in Europe, here, everywhere. Their time in nature, and I can see through them that it works. Creativity, diet, movement, which is, like a yoga or something, sound, and crystals. And she even said, get a crystal ball. I have a crystal ball. It was very affirming to me. It wasn't necessarily enlightening, but it was affirming. And that's important, because when you're doing your life's work, as I have done in Unity, it's nice to have an affirmation that you're going in the right direction, whatever that direction is, because it'll be different for all of us. That's the fun part. So to understand that we don't need golden gems, a home or a cathedral. Like, I love our living room ministry in this very room. I would like every chair filled. And I'm going to start asking for that more. So we're simple souls, and yet can do great healing work. And in John 3:16 it said, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believeth on him should not perish, but have eternal life." So the idea metaphysically of this is we are all the begotten Son. We are all children of God. And he's given all of us to this world. The only begotten is the spiritual man. The only begotten is the Christ principle. The only begotten is the divine of man. God's love is so great, his wisdom so infinite, pure and perfect, and we are all children of God. Excuse me. I've had a talking weekend. I think that's my life, but I mean, So I want to read Emerson, because, the poets of that time they didn't call them metaphysicians, they were called something else. Transcendentalists. Thank you. We had that thought, yeah. So, but they spoke in metaphysical terms, as I would say. And so I wanted to read Emerson, so that's why I went and got my water. Alone in all history, he estimates the greatest of man. Alone in all history, he's speaking of Jesus. He estimates the greatest of man. One man was true to what is in me and you. He saw that God's incarnates himself in man, and evermore goes forth anew to take possession of the world. That's Emerson. To understand that he's saying that this incarnate is in us. And then Paul says, the Christ in you, the hope of glory. We maybe know that Bible passage. So the law of life, your law, is to press on forward. That's the goal. And to know that this is a high calling of God. It's a high calling, what we're being called to do. And that we're in unity, and we're learning how to do it. So I just again welcome you, as I did last week, to shine. Thank you.
Okay, this is a song I wrote called "Listen." It was like a meditation. I thought it would work with the talk, because you're speaking of unity within, and which is to kind of remember that wholeness that we already are and have. So there's a verse that says, "May my light never fade when the core starts to change. May I love every part to the end from the start." And just remembering that it's already within, like you were talking about. May my mind hold my heart when my body falls apart. May my eyes always seek truth for food when I speak. May my hands always touch before I walk and take too much. May I breathe to meet my fear. So gentleness might soon appear. May my light never fade. out and inside of me.
Now for announcements, please check the bulletin board, back table, hallway, and for information about Unity World Day of Prayer, Michelle's next book study, sales of storage unit items, and collection for Medina's personal pantry. Questions may be directed to any board member. The board will meet Monday, September 9th at 6 p.m. Suggestions may be submitted by using the suggestion box on the table in the hallway. And now Donna will lead us in blessing one another and any guests today.
I love how today fit together because even your song about everything inside and the grace of the daily word and just everything. I love it when that happens, and it happens quite often. Okay, I have one announcement that Shannon, stand up for a moment. Shannon is a Unity member. She was in Chesterland, and now she comes to Medina if she's not working, or her husband David comes. If he's not working, he's working today. But she's going to have something at the Highland Library, is neuro-linguistic programming. NLP. Does everybody know that? I know that because my girlfriend does it, but it's a
It's a form of hypnosis. It teaches, it's modeled after the workings of Virginia Satir and Milton Erickson. It's a way of communicating. This is neuro-linguistic programming for communication. And then David on Wednesday is going to be doing brain spotting, which again is a form of neuro-linguistic programming for performance improvement for athletes, musicians.
nice, nice. So it's in your local library, and it's, you did say it was free, right?
It's free at 6:30 on Monday for the NLP for communication.
Yeah,
6:30 Wednesday for performance improvement.
yeah, so that's great. And so I just wanted Shannon to get a shout out because I've known her. I mean, I knew her at Unity of Chesterland, and and also because it's free. And I don't mean that funny, but we wouldn't promote like business type things, But Shannon is a Unity member, and it's free, so you can't beat that. And that's a great study too. Okay, so now I've lost my papers on what I'm supposed, well, I can just say, is anybody here new for today? I got it now. Anybody new? No. Okay, so we're looking forward to the new chairs being filled, So let's bless each other. All these light beings that are in this room. We bless you. We appreciate you. We behold the Christ in you. Thank you for being here. And I definitely mean thank you for being here. It means so much, and shared energy and where we're going. And I want to be committed to that because I do see change coming. And we have to say yes. And in Unity, we're trained for that. So it's all good. It's all good. So now is our time for our offertory prayer. And if you'll take your tithes and your love offerings into your hands and say with me, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. We are grateful.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful for all that we have. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful. We are so blessed.
And so I want to thank you for all the giving today. We receive it from our heart, and as the board will meet tomorrow, we will do our highest thought and our highest good for unity of Medina. We thank you for trusting us with your prayers. It's a sacred skill and gift to be able to pray with you, for you, and as you. And so thank you for those prayers. In our world, we do see it breaking down, and yet we know that it is our chance to stand and to shine. And we shine both light and peace and love. And we do this knowing that the Christ in us is the hope and glory of our world. And so it is. We say amen and amen. Okay, so now we get to form a circle, and I think we have enough people for a circle instead of a long I. The light of God surrounds us. The love